Welcome back, traders, to another weekly outlook. Today we will be going over some major Forex pairs and also the major indices like S&P 500 and Nasdaq, and forecast our outlook for the next week, what we can expect inside the markets going into the next week, all the things we're going to talk about in this video. So let's get right into it. And we're starting off as usual with the dollar index, and as you can see, we have been delivering from the monthly fair value gap CB low right here, and we also created a monthly inversion fair value gap by violating this bullish monthly fair value gap right here. We closed below it, which makes it a inversion fair value gap, and we didn't quite reach it on the dollar index, but on Euro USD we delivered perfectly, and now we're trading lower this month. And what I want to see is maybe a run at least below this rejection block right here on the monthly time frame, below the 101 600 level, and we can aim for downside targets at 100 and around 98, which is a monthly fair value gap, buy side inefficiency, sell side imbalance, and sorry, wrong, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, right here at the 98 level. Big institutional number, which is also a big confluence. So what we can expect right here, I don't think we will come back up into the monthly inversion fair value gap. As I said, there's no necessity to come back up there, but what we can see is a run straight away to the monthly fair value gap going into the next year. I like how we are delivering from the monthly fair value gap right here. So let's get moving into Euro US dollar. As you can see, this is what I mentioned. We are delivering from the monthly fair value gap. Should say inversion fair value gap. Now it's correct. So as you can see, we took out this low right here and now took out sell side liquidity, running higher, delivering from the inversion fair value gap, and we're aiming for higher prices as well, potentially this high right here, and then we have some inefficiencies right here, as you can see, which we can target going into the next year. On the weekly chart, a little bit more detail. Let me go into the dollar index one more time before we move on to the Euro USD. I forgot to show you the weekly time frame. My bad. But as you can see, we have perfectly traded away from the weekly fair value gap right here. Nice delivery, and I think next week we could see another run lower. Here we can see a reaction from the weekly fair value gap, order block, bearish order block, going down into this open weekly fair value gap, which is a busy. My bad. Now it's correct. So I'm bearish on the dollar for going into the next week, and now we can also take a look at the daily time frame. Right now, here I'm not pretty sure. We have a lot of PD arrays which we can use to take a short, which is first of all this fair value gap right here, then the large fair value gap from this low to this high of the candle, and also we have a daily volume imbalance and a daily breaker, and also our weekly order block. So as you can see, a lot of PD arrays stacked and layered all over each other, which is why I'm not sure which one to take. That's why I will wait for a decent reaction from away from one of them before I take any trades, because I don't know which PD array to choose. Yeah, that's the plan for the dollar. So bearish dollar going into the next week. That's why we want to see a bullish Euro USD. On the weekly chart, we could see a run higher like this from the bullish weekly order block into the weekly fair value gap. Of course, not all inside the next week, but going into the next month, probably also into the new year, we could see a run higher to fill in this open weekly SIBI. So we also delivered perfectly from the BISI low right here and also from the weekly order block. Didn't really like the close last week. We left a huge wick to the upside, but also this has created also equal highs, as you can see here, daily chart. Okay, no, it doesn't show it, but here, as you can see, equal highs, buy side liquidity is there. Same problem as with the dollar. We have this daily fair value gap. We have our weekly order block. This huge down close day doesn't look too promising. That's why I'm a little bit indecisive on how we should look for longs going into the next week. That's why I will also wait for some reaction out of the daily fair value gap to see if it really wants to go higher from there. So moving on onto GBP USD, same thing right here. Let's move on to the weekly time frame. Let's remove this and this. So I'm bullish. As you can see, GBP USD is a little bit weaker. It closed below this bullish order block, but we're still delivering from the weekly fair value gap right here, and also from the inversion fair value gap. So on the daily time frame, we have this daily fair value gap. We could see something like this. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but I would really wait for a reaction on this. As you can see, we have also a divergence between Euro USD, GBP, and GBP USD. GBP USD made a higher high, while Euro USD made a lower high. That's why I would also be a little bit careful with longs and wait for a reaction out of the bullish PD array before getting too locked into one bias. So that's the plan for next week. Let's also look at USD CAD. Sold off quite aggressively last week as the dollar index, looking for downside objectives, same as the dollar. Right here we could use the inversion fair value gap right here to trade into this weekly fair value gap. I think next week we could really see a push down into this weekly fair value gap finally, or if we get a higher retracement, we could see a reaction from the weekly order block to then trade lower. But I think the run into the order block is really not necessary. Would prefer the weekly inversion fair value gap right here. So I think that's it. NZD, USD, all looking bullish. We have major buy side liquidity right here. We could see a run higher going into the next year. Yeah, but it looks a little bit messy. I have some levels marked up, but for now, really nothing special right here. AUD USD is looking a little bit stronger, and NZD USD is a little bit more choppier. So let's see what it does. Of course, bullish again. We have these equal highs, so yeah, I'm bullish on those. Let's move to the futures. First of all, we have S&P 500. We had a massive push in the last few weeks, as you can see. No down close candle on the weekly chart after we rallied from this monthly order block. We took out this high from July, and now we could even potentially target new all-time highs on the S&P 500. So weekly chart, I mean, it's really hard to get on into these moves when they're moving so quickly. There's nearly no chance for you to get onto these moves. But for example, there's some little opportunities, but if you miss them, I mean, it's just waving goodbye and screaming to the upside. So here was potentially an entry right here. Then we traded also into the fair value gap right here. So there are only a few entries on these huge bull runs. But now going to the next week, I would look for some retracement. Maybe we would see even a deeper retracement after this huge run up. That's why two possible scenarios are these two. So either a rejection from the daily fair value gap or the daily order block. But still bullish. There's no way I would short this thing. Except you're scalping, you shouldn't short the futures. Nasdaq, same thing. Looking for retracement on the weekly chart. We could, next week we could see a nice run up into this weekly SIBI right here. Yeah, is really a nice target. So let's see if we could see something like this, or maybe it even will run into the target in the first half of the week and then give us the retracement. I think that's the plan. That's how it will happen. I think the first half of the week we will see another push higher and then trade lower. So maybe you could then participate in the retracement lower, but for now we're good to go. And Dow, yeah, really strong. Challenging the new all-time high. Again, I mean, this massive strong up close candle on the weekly chart. You can do nothing about this, but we have a daily fair value gap which we could use to look for new longs. So let's take a look at the economic calendar at the end of the video. We are already 12 minutes in this video, so let's wrap it up with the look at the economic calendar. Here I have that's how my economic calendar looks like. I just checked everything what we talked about. So CAD news, high impact news release on Tuesday, so I would definitely watch out for that. Maybe you can find a setup after the news event on Tuesday during the New York session, something for USD CAD to look out for, and also some medium impact news release for the US dollar. Then GBP at 2 a.m. in the London session could be a nice setup. And then what I like also is the Wednesday on December 20th, the 10 a.m. news release for the US dollar. We'll be definitely looking for some setups. And also Thursday and Friday we have some high impact news releases for the US dollar and the CAD dollar. So keep in mind all the high impact news drivers. Always wait for the news release to come out and then look for a setup. Don't day trade during the high impact news releases. I think that's it. What I wanted to talk about is also, as you can see, the seasonal tendency of the Dow and the major indices, Nasdaq and S&P, are really performing as they should. We have this massive push at the end of the year in October. As you can see, at the end of October we make a low and then rally higher going into the December, and then the first major retracement comes in January. So let's see how long the bull run goes on the indices and futures. And I would say thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date, join my Telegram channel. I will be posting there again. So I hope you liked the video. Leave a thumbs up, and I would say we will see us in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.